Hey, welcome back. This is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com. Is your man scared of intimacy? Well, you might not know, or you might think you know, but I'm going to give you 7 signs today to know if he really is scared of intimacy. And stick with me through to the end because the last one's a doozy. And of course, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you know when these videos come out each week. One of the most popular concepts in dating is the idea that all men are scared of relationships and commitment. In fact, you might have even felt this way at some point, even if you don't right at this moment. Part of this comes from the way men and women interact. Men have behaviors that feel more aloof to women, and women respond by wanting even more verbal emotional intimacy to compensate. However, be careful of generalization. There has never been any substantial proof that either sex is more or less wired to be afraid of commitment. We assume women are the ones that want the commitment and men run from it, but this is not as established as you might think. In general, not all men are afraid of relationships, but some men are. Now, there are a bunch of reasons why he might not want intimacy. Some of the reasons are, well, number one is he's had previous relationship trauma. Sometimes this is just within his family or other relationships he's had. Reason number two is he's got other non-relationship issues, things like maybe mental health issues, maybe he's bipolar or depressed or some other kind of psychological issue. Or number three, he might have secret addictions. Addictions in our world have almost become the norm, from electronic addictions to porn to phones, whatever. So there's a lot of reasons why. Is he scared to be intimate? Sign number one, he's always avoiding the talks. A lot of guys avoid deep talk when it comes to the relationship. Sometimes this isn't always because of a fear of intimacy. Let me explain. There are 4 kinds of intimacy. There's intellectual, experiential, sexual, and emotional intimacy. When it comes to romantic relationships, men enjoy the first 3 just fine, intellectual, experiential, and sexual. But the last one, emotional intimacy, eludes a lot of men because we don't have that as one of our core skills of communication. In plain English, men just don't work like this out of the box. It's one of the fundamental differences between men and women that's simply different. All right, scared to get intimate? Sign number 2, he's weird about touch. One way we're all hardwired to experience intimacy is through touch. No words are necessary, which makes it an easy way for guys to express emotions. As I was saying, men view sex as emotional connection and affection as well as sexual connection. And women sometimes see sex as a sensual sharing. They don't always feel the emotional connection. Just recognize that guys use sex to express feelings they don't always know how to say or speak out loud. It's right there under the surface of his bedroom advances. Is he unable to connect? Sign number 3, he stuffs them down or he blows them up. Some men have a complete shutdown when it comes to their emotions. They just can't seem to handle any emotional expression. Whenever an emotion comes up, it gets squashed right off the bat, or sometimes it goes to the extreme. Like if you argue, it gets weird, he shuts down, or his temper flares. If he goes through a loss, he's very quiet and shut down. If he's happy, you see it, but it might be muted and very controlled. So if he's showing these signs of emotional damping or spiking, he may have some intimacy issues that will show up later. Is he scared to be intimate? Sign number 4, boring. When a guy can't connect intimately, you'll see that he will keep things on the surface. Everything will feel very superficial to you. What he's doing is keeping you at arm's length to avoid having to deal with the emotional stuff. And as a result, the relationship will get pretty boring for him. You have to keep an eye out for that kind of behavior and pay very particular attention to any avoidance behaviors. Is he scared to emotionally connect? Sign number 5. He's a controller. If you haven't read my recent article on being in a controlling relationship, make sure you check it out at the site at datingadviceguru.com. You see, guys who control are often using that strategy to keep themselves at a very emotionally distant place. This is safe for them, but it doesn't deepen your relationship. Intimacy alert, sign number 6, he's going for takeout. Some men cannot be emotionally intimate with the same person that they're physically intimate with. It's almost like they have this block against mixing those two worlds. And as a result, he may seek that emotional intimacy with somebody else. He'll go for drive-through intimacy with other people. It's a little bit like being emotionally unfaithful. And yes, if your man goes to another person, woman, family member, friend, coworker, whoever, about their problems instead of you, there's a problem there and you need to address it. Is he scared to emotionally connect? Sign number 7, he's got a pattern. The honest truth is that a person who can't be emotionally intimate is usually pretty obvious. They'll behave like a person who you just can't get close to. They'll have a long-standing history of running as soon as someone gets close to them. It's really that simple. You'll see it in every area of their life. And many women become addicted to these kinds of relationships as a response because you need emotional connection. You will find it hard to disconnect from him. You'll find yourself working even harder and harder, investing more and more energy in a relationship you know is going nowhere. It's a little bit like an addiction. And you know what? I have yet to find a large population of women who just get men. Doesn't matter where in the world this may be, including, yes, you, San Francisco and LA. How do you do it? How do you know how to connect to men and what a man's connection code is? Well, there's 5 different types of guys out there. There's the dog, the bull, the turtle, the cat, and the lamb. If you don't know how each one of those connection codes works, you're going to find it hard to connect with the guy because you only have a 1 in 5 chance of matching up with his style. If you want to find out more about that, go on over to datingadviceguru.com/connection code. That's datingadviceguru.com/connection code. And of course, make sure you do the big 3 before you end this video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you turn on those notifications. That'll make sure that you know when the next video comes out. This is Carlos Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com. As always, live and love with passion.